The bullet tore through my chest like a freight train from hell. And as the world faded to black, I heard her voice, my mother's, whispering, "It's for the best, baby." But death wasn't the end. I woke up gasping, not in a hospital bed or some ethereal void, but in my old bedroom. Posters of boy bands peeling from the walls. The date on my alarm clock screaming 2005. I was 15 again. And the woman who raised me, the one who just murdered me in my previous life, was humming in the kitchen downstairs, oblivious to the storm I'd become. My name is Riley Harper. Or, at least that's what it said on my fake birth certificate. Back then, in that second chance at life, I bolted upright in bed, sweat soaking my Hello Kitty pajamas, the ones I'd outgrown but Mom insisted on keeping because they made me look innocent. Innocent. The word tasted like bile now. My heart hammered against ribs that shouldn't be whole, lungs pulling in air that carried the faint scent of Eggo waffles and Folgers coffee from below. It was real. Too real. The mirror across the room showed my face, freckles across a button nose, braces glinting under the lamp, hair in a messy ponytail. Not the sharp-featured 25-year-old who'd stared down Evelyn Harper in our cramped LA apartment, demanding answers about the DNA test that had shattered everything. I remembered it all, crystal clear, like a movie reel rewinding in my skull. 10 years from now, no, 20 from this moment, I'd clawed my way out of our dead-end life in Van Nuys, scraping by as a barista while chasing a journalism degree at community college. Evelyn had been my rock, single mom, diner waitress, always scraping pennies for my braces, my prom dress, my dreams. She'd cry at my report cards, bake lopsided cakes for my birthdays, and hug me so tight I'd swear she was afraid I'd vanish. I loved her fierce, the way only a kid from the wrong side of the tracks can love the one person who made the tracks feel like home. But love's a blindfold, and mine got ripped off the day I splurged on that ancestry kit for her birthday. The results pinged my email while she was at her shift, 99.9% match to a missing child case from New York. 1990. Riley Kensington, heir to Kensington Enterprises, snatched from a Central Park stroller by a nanny's accomplice. My real parents, Dad a Wall Street titan, Mom a philanthropist, had never stopped searching, plastering my baby face on billboards from Times Square to Tokyo. And Evelyn? She'd been that nanny's cousin, a broke nobody from Queens who'd seen dollar signs in my blue eyes. I'd confronted her that night, the laptop screen glowing like a confession booth.
Why?
Mom? Why me? She'd sobbed, then laughed, a brittle, broken sound. Because you were mine, Riley. They didn't deserve you. All that money, and they let you wander off.
Lies.
The police reports I'd dug up later painted her as the mastermind, trading me for a payout she squandered on lottery tickets and bad boyfriends. She'd raised me in shadows, feeding me stories of a dead dad and a runaway grandma, all to keep the Kensington fortune at bay. When I threatened to call the cops, her eyes went flat, like a switch flipped. You think they'd want you back now? A nobody waitress's kid? The gun came from her purse, some cheap .38 she'd bought off a sketchy uncle for protection. One shot.
Point blank.
Because in her twisted head, dead was better than returned. I hit the floor, choking on blood and betrayal. Her face the last thing I saw, tear-streaked, but resolute. I love you, baby. Always will.
And now?
Here I was, 15 and furious, with a decade's worth of rage coiled in my gut like a rattlesnake. This time, I wouldn't wait for the truth to gut me. I'd wield it like a blade.
Evelyn was downstairs.
Flipping pancakes, probably planning our next thrift store adventure. But I knew her secrets now. The safety deposit box in Glendale with the fake IDs. The burner phone calls to old accomplices. The way she'd panic at news stories about cold cases. She'd stolen my life once. I'd steal hers back. Piece by bloody piece. I swung my legs over the bed, bare feet hitting the shag carpet that smelled like mothballs and regret. The house was a cookie-cutter ranch in Reseda. Valley heat already seeping through the blinds even at dawn. Downstairs, the TV droned with Good Morning America. Evelyn's laugh punctuating the weather report. Riley, honey, breakfast. Her voice was syrup-sweet, laced with that faint Queen's accent she'd never fully shaken. I paused at the top of the stairs, hand on the rail, fighting the urge to scream. Play it cool, I told myself. You're the good daughter today.
Probe gently.
In my first life, I'd been too trusting, too eager to please. This time, I'd be the wolf in sheep's clothing. I descended, forcing a yawn, rubbing my eyes like any sleepy teen. She was at the stove, apron tied over her nurse scrubs. Double shifts at the clinic kept us afloat. Her hair was a frizzy brown bob, laugh lines etching her face. But I saw the cracks now, the tremor in her hands, the way her eyes darted to the window like she expected ghosts. Mornin', Mom. I slid into a vinyl chair, picking at a chipped Formica edge. The pancakes hit my plate steaming, drowned in Aunt Jemima. Smells awesome. She beamed, planting a kiss on my forehead. Her lips were chapped, smelling of menthol cigarettes. Big day.
Kiddo. School.
Then volleyball tryouts. You're gonna kill it. She ruffled my hair, oblivious to the venom in my smile. As we ate, I steered the conversation like a pro, years of hindsight sharpening my edge. Hey, remember that story you told me about how you found me? Abandoned at the bus stop? It was her go-to fable, a rainy night in '90. A swaddled bundle with a note saying, "Keep her safe." Evelyn's fork paused midair, syrup dripping. Yeah. Why? Just thinking. What if my real mom was out there? Looking? I kept my tone light. Curious kid innocent. Her laugh was forced. A bark. Baby, that woman's long gone. Junkie.
Probably.
I saved you from that mess. She reached across, squeezing my hand. Her grip was iron, nails digging in just a hair too deep. Warning bells from my future self, she was always quick to shut down what-ifs. I nodded, swallowing the urge to yank away. You're right. You're all I need. Lies. All of it. But they tasted like justice. School that day was a surreal blur, Lockwood High. With its lockers graffitied in Sharpie and cheerleaders hawking candy for prom funds. I was Riley Harper. Straight A wallflower. Crushing on Jake from bio, but too shy to say hi. In my old life, I'd bloomed late. Dated a string of losers before settling into spinsterhood. Now, every glance was calculation. Who could I trust? Who could I use? First period English. Mrs. Delgado droned about to kill a mockingbird. But my notebook filled with scribbles. Kensington Enterprises, NYC. Contact, Harlan Kensington Dad. Harlan. The name alone conjured boardrooms and black cars. Not our rusted Ford Escort. In my deathbed haze, I glimpsed his face on a true crime doc, Silver Fox. Haunted eyes, offering millions for my return. He died 5 years ago in my timeline, heart attack from grief. They said. This time, I'd save him. Save myself. Lunch was tacos from the cafeteria line. Grease, soaking the paper boat. I sat with Mia, my best friend, or the girl who'd become one in both lives. Curly-haired Latina firecracker. Always scheming pyramid makeup sales. Riley, you look like you saw a ghost.
Spill.
I hesitated. Mia was solid. But trust was a luxury I couldn't afford yet. Just a dream. About family stuff. Close enough. She leaned in. Nachos forgotten. Ooh.
Like
Hot dad drama? Or evil stepmom vibes? Evil everything. I forced a laugh. But it cracked. In my first life, Mia had been my sounding board when Evelyn's moods turned dark, yelling fits over spilled milk. Locks on my door for safety. I'd chalked it up to stress. Now I knew. Control. Always control. After school, volleyball tryouts on the dusty gym court. I spiked the ball harder than I ever had, channeling 20 years of pent-up fury. Coach whistled. Impressed. Harper's got fired today. Evelyn picked me up in the escort. Radio blasting Celine Dion. Proud of you, kid. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. She knew I was slipping grades too good. Questions too sharp. That night, while she crashed early from her shift, I snuck to the family PC in the den, a clunky Dell with dial-up screeching like a banshee. Password, Riley birthday 90. Amateur. I googled Kensington kidnapping 1990. Hits flooded, grainy news clips. My baby photo, chubby cheeks. Kensington locket around my neck. The one Evelyn had pawned years ago for rent, claiming it was just costume jewelry. Harlan's obituary hadn't hit yet. This timeline's Harlan was alive. 55.
CEO still.
A charity gala photo, him with a stunning blonde. My mom, Elena, arm in arm, both aged but unbroken. Siblings too, older brother Theo. Wall Street shark, sister Lila. Artist in Brooklyn. My family. Real blood. Fingers flying. I crafted an anonymous email from a Hotmail ghost account. I know about Riley. Proof attached. I scanned a childhood pic, me at 5, gap-toothed grin, and hit send to a tip line from an old article. No names. No traces. Let them chase. But Evelyn wasn't asleep. Her shadow fell across the screen as the modem clicked off. Can't sleep? She leaned in the doorway. Robe loose. Eyes narrowed. Just homework. My pulse thundered. She stepped closer. Breath hot on my neck. Good girl. Now bed. Big day tomorrow. Her hand lingered on my shoulder, thumb pressing like a brand. I nodded, but as she left, I glimpsed the hall mirror, her reflection, mouth twisted in something like fear.
Good.
Let her feel it. The next weeks were a tightrope. I aced tests, charmed teachers, even flirted with Jake at a pep rally. His blush was currency for locker room gossip. Evelyn grew twitchy. Extra locks on cabinets. Surprise inspections of my backpack. Can't be too careful. Baby. Worlds full of strangers. One Saturday, she dragged me to the Glendale Bank, errand day. She called it. While she chatted up the teller, I slipped to the safety deposit hall. Heart slamming. Room 47. The key was in her purse. Labeled memories. Inside, my locket. Pawn ticket stubs. A faded news clipping, Kensington baby vanishes. And a letter, unsealed, in her scrawl. If they find us, Riley, remember, I chose you. They threw you away. Bullshit. But the rage?
It bloomed.
Back home, I hid the photocopy under my mattress. Phase 2. Allies. Mia got the edited truth over Slurpees at 7-Eleven. My mom's not who she says. Need your help digging. Her eyes lit. Like, detective shit? I'm in. But if she's crazy, we bail. She wasn't wrong. Evelyn's paranoia peaked. Anonymous calls traced to payphones. A private eye ad circled in the penny saver. She was unraveling, and I was the thread. By month's end, the first reply pinged, from Theo Kensington. Who is this?
We need to talk. Now.
I stared at the screen, Evelyn's snores echoing from her room. The prodigal daughter, knocking on heaven's, hell's door. I loved my MOM for 20 years, until I learned she kidnapped me and hid my real family's truth. The coffee shop in Studio City was a neutral zone, faux industrial chic with exposed brick and overpriced lattes. The kind of place Evelyn would scoff at as fancy bullshit. I nursed a black drip, legs bouncing under the table, while Theo Kensington strode in like he owned the block. Mid-30s. Sharp suit. Jaw like a blade, my brother. Blood and bone. Scanning the room until his eyes locked on mine. Recognition hit him like a gut punch. He froze. Then crossed the floor in 3 strides. Riley, his voice cracked. A whisper swallowed by the espresso machine's hiss. I stood. Chair scraping. Up close. The resemblance stung. Same high cheekbones. Same storm gray eyes.
Yeah.
It's me. He pulled me into a hug before I could brace, fierce. Desperate. Like I'd evaporate. God. The photo. I thought it was a hoax. His grip tightened. Cologne sharp and expensive. Worlds away from Evelyn's drugstore lavender. We sank into the booth. Him devouring my face like a map to lost treasure. Theo was the fixer. The one who'd never stopped the searches. Private dicks. Psychics. Even hacking DMV records. Dad's a wreck. Mom too. They fly in tomorrow. But how? We've chased every lead since you were 6 months old. I traced the rim of my mug. Words measured. The woman who raised me, Evelyn Harper.
She was the inside job.
Nanny's cousin. Saw the payout potential. I laid it out. The bus stop lie. The squandered hush money. The gun in my future. Not the death part, that was too raw. Too crazy girl for day one. But the betrayal? It poured out. Venom sweet on my tongue. His face hardened. Lawyer mode kicking in. We go to the cops. Today.
No.
I gripped his wrist. Nails biting. She's armed. Paranoid. One wrong move. She bolts or worse. The memory flashed. Her finger on the trigger. Steady as stone. We build a case. Ironclad. I get close. Record everything. You handle the law from afar. Theo's jaw ticked, but he nodded. Family trait. Maybe stubborn as hell. He slid a burner phone across the table.
For us.
Daily check-ins. And Riley, welcome home. Home. The word lodged in my throat like shrapnel. Driving back in the Escort, Evelyn at work, I blasted the AC. Windows down. Wind whipping my hair into a frenzy. The valley sprawled, palm trees like skeletal fingers. Billboards hawking miracles in pill form. This was my cage, gilded with lies. But cracks were showing.
Mia.
My pint-sized Watson had already sweet-talked the school librarian for microfilm access, old Queen's obits, nanny scandals. Found zilch on Harper. But get this, Evelyn's real last name?
O'Malley.
Changed it in '91. Sketchy AF. O'Malley. Irish Spitfire roots. Probably explains the temper. I filed it away, plotting. Evelyn's shifts ended at 7 p.m. I'd study at Mia's. Then tail her. First stop, the dingy motel off Ventura, where she met her book club, code for lowlifes from her past. That night, parked in Mia's mom's minivan, borrowed with promises of chores, I watched Evelyn slip into room 12, a greasy envelope changing hands with a guy who screamed ex-con, tats up his neck, eyes darting like roaches. Blackmail insurance? Or fresh cons? My phone camera caught it all. Timestamped. Evelyn emerged, glancing over her shoulder, then drove home whistling. Dinner was meatloaf, lumpy but laced with love or guilt. Missed you today, baby. How's Mia?
Great.
Homework marathon. I forked a bite. Casual. Hey,
Mom.
ever think about your family? Like cousins or something? Her fork clattered. Why? Just curious. Genealogy project at school.
Lie.
Smooth as butter. She recovered, forcing a chuckle. O'Malley's were trash, drunks, and deadbeats. Buried that life when I got you. Her eyes bored into mine. Probing. You digging again? Only for extra credit. I smiled. All teeth. Bedtime brought dreams. Harlan's face on TV. Pleading. Elena's arms empty at galas. I woke sweating. The burner buzzing, Theo. Parents land, 10 a.m. Lunch, neutral spot. Neutral. Like I wasn't a walking war zone. The Kensingtons chose the Ivy in Beverly Hills, valet parking. Paparazzi perimeter. Harlan was shorter than his photos. Silver hair thinning. But those eyes, mine, magnified by decades of loss. Elena was elegance incarnate, pearls, pencil skirt, until she saw me. Then she shattered, tears silent but seismic, clutching my hands like rosary beads. My girl. My little girl. We talked for hours, over Cobb salads they barely touched, piecing my ghost life. They'd named a wing at the hospital after me. Funded search foundations. Theo handled the rage, vowing lawsuits. But Elena? She saw the girl, not the pawn. We'll get you out. Legally. Quietly. Quietly, I echoed. No room for error. Evelyn's web was sticky. Back in Reseda. The facade cracked. Evelyn rifled my room while I showered, finding nothing, burner hidden in my volleyball knee pad. But suspicion festered. You're different, Riley. Distant. Teen stuff. Boys. Maybe. I tossed her a bone, watching her relax. Hook. Line. Sinker. The controversial calls started small, faking a diary entry about running away to NYC, planting it for her to find. Let her sweat. Then, Mia's uncle, a PI on the cheap, dug dirt. Evelyn's payout? Laundered through Atlantic City slots. But a trail led to a safety net, forged docs for a new life in Reno. She was planning exit velocity. I upped the ante. At a family barbecue, Evelyn's idea. Neighbors and Jell-O molds, I cornered her in the garage. Voice low. I know about the locket.
Mom.
And the clipping. She whirled, wrench in hand from tinkering on the escort. What the hell? Relax. I'm not telling.
But.
What if we cashed in? The Kensingtons owe you for raising me. Her eyes narrowed, greedy glint surfacing. You do that? For us. For family. The lie burned, but it worked. She bit, spinning tales of reparations. A cool $1 million. Maybe $2. I recorded it on the burner. Voice memo gold. Theo's team transcribed it overnight. Extortion attempt.
Clear as day.
We have her, he texted. But I stalled. One more piece. The why. Why me? The baby in the park. Not some random. Evelyn's letters hinted deeper. Jealousy. Maybe. Elena's bestie. Scorned for a promotion. Or darker. Evelyn's own lost child. Miscarried months before. The tension coiled. School dances loomed. Jake asked me out. His puppy dog grin a distraction I weaponized. Tell me about your folks. I purred over pizza, fishing for Valley secrets. He spilled. His dad's a cop. Cold cases his jam. Seed planted. Evelyn's unraveling accelerated. Whiskey bottles in the trash. Errands at odd hours. One night, she cornered me in the kitchen. Breath sour. You're lying to me,
Aren't you?
about everything. My back hit the fridge. Magnets clattering. Mom. Those eyes. Kensington eyes. Her hand shot out, grabbing my chin, forcing my gaze. I see it now. You remember, don't you? The room spun.
How?
A slip? The diary? I wrenched free, bluffing. You're drunk. Go to bed. She laughed. Manic. Bed? We're leaving. Baby. Tonight. Reno. Fresh start.
No.
Not yet. I nodded, placating. Pack light. I'll help. As she stumbled upstairs, I texted Theo. Now. Cops at dawn. Adrenaline surged. A drug. But doubt crept. Was this mercy? Or just trading one cage for handcuffs? Dawn broke bloody, sirens wailing down our street, neighbors in robes gawking. Evelyn burst from her room. Duffel half-sipped, face ashen. Riley, what did you? Police. Open up. Battering ram echoed. She lunged for me, eyes wild. You bitch. After everything? I stepped back, voice steel. Everything was a lie. Evelyn. You stole me. The door splintered. Cops swarmed, Jake's dad front and center. Cuffs glinting. She fought, screaming obscenities. But they pinned her. She's mine. You hear me? Mine. As they dragged her out, our eyes met through the chaos. No tears this time. Just hate. Pure and American dream rotten.
But the twist?
In the squad car, she yelled it. Ask your real mommy about the affair. Riley. Elena Kensington wasn't so pure. My blood iced. What the hell did that mean? I loved my MOM for 20 years, until I learned she kidnapped me and hid my real family's truth. The holding cell reeked of bleach and despair. Fluorescent buzz drilling into my skull as I faced Evelyn through the glass. No hugs. No violins, just a phone receiver and her cuffed hands splayed like broken wings. The cops had given me 10 minutes. Closure, they called it. Bullshit. This was checkmate. You happy now? Her voice crackled through the line. Makeup smeared into raccoon rings. But those eyes still sharp, still scheming. I leaned in, close enough to fog the partition. Happy?
No.
But free? Yeah. She barked a laugh.
Hollow. Free.
That's rich. You think the Kensingtons want a valley rat? Elena's got skeletons.
Girl.
Ask her why she was in that park alone that day. Not with the nanny, with her lover. Harlan was away on business. I did you a favor, snatching you from that soap opera. My grip tightened on the receiver. Knuckles white.
Lies.
Always lies. Swear on your fake birth cert. I tailed her for weeks, jealousy burns hot. She was dumping you on some side piece's doorstep when I grabbed you. Better me than that scandal. Her smile twisted. Call it karma. The guard tapped his watch. Time up. But her words burrowed. Maggots in my certainty. As they led her away, she twisted back. Love you, baby. Even now.
Love.
The word echoed like a gunshot. The Kensington jet waited at Van Nuys, private. Plush. A far cry from Southwest puddle jumpers. Theo briefed me en route. Charges stuck: kidnapping, fraud, attempted extortion. Bail denied. She'd rot in county till trial. Elena and Harlan were at the estate, sprawling Tudor in Greenwich.
CT.
Iron gates and ivy veils. Home. Version 2.0. Landing at Westchester. A black Escalade whisked us north. Autumn leaves blazing like warnings. Theo filled the silence. Mom's prepped a room. Your room. Kept it since '90. My throat closed. And the affair thing? Evelyn's hallucinating. Right? He shifted. Suit rumpling. Water under the bridge. Focus on us. Liar. His evasion screamed volumes. The estate loomed, columns like teeth. Lawns manicured to obsession. Elena waited on the stoop, cashmere wrap fluttering. Harlan beside her, stooped but smiling. Hugs followed, perfumed and tentative, their touches ghosts of what might have been.
Inside.
Crystal chandeliers dripped light over Persian rugs, staff hovered with trays of finger sandwiches. Surreal. Like stepping into someone else's dream. Dinner was roast duck. Silver service. Awkward toasts to reunions. Harlan grilled gently. My favorite color, blue. Dreams, journalism. Still. Elena watched. Wineglass trembling. We'll make up for lost time. Darling. Therapy. Schools, whatever you need. But bedtime brought the fracture. My room. Pink canopy bed. Teddy bears dusted but dated. Felt like a shrine to the ghost I'd been. I paced. Burner in hand. Dialing Mia.
It's
a lot. But good.
Bitch.
You're heiress now? Spill the tea. We laughed. Grounding. But sleep evaded. Evelyn's barb festered. At 3 a.m., I crept to Harlan's study, leather-bound tomes. A desk like a battleship. Safe cracked easy, birthday combo mine. Files spilled, the kidnapping dossier. Yellowed. Elena's statement. I stepped away for a call. Nanny distracted. Gone in seconds. No lover. No dump-off. But clipped to it, a pink carbon, hotel receipt. 89. Elena's name. A Philly address. Cross-referenced with Harlan's calendar. Conference.
Same dates.
Heart pounding. I Googled on his Mac, discreet. Philly Inquirer archive. Socialite spotted in tryst amid Kensington merger talks. Blurry photo. Elena. Arm in arm with a junior exec. Belly's not yet showing. Mine?
Or.
Dawn found me in the kitchen, nursing espresso. When Elena entered, silk robe. Hair tousled. Can't sleep? I slid the printout across the marble island. Evelyn said you'd explain. Her face drained. Wineglass fresh pour, slipping from fingers.
Crash. Oh.
Riley. It tumbled out. The affair.
Preemie.
Harlan's mergers meant months apart. Loneliness bred mistakes. The exec? A 1-month fling. Ended before the wedding. But the kicker, early tests. Pregnant. Not Harlan's. Panic. The park that day? Not abandonment. Elena fleeing to confess to her lover. Baby in tow. Hoping he'd claim us. Nanny along for cover.
Evelyn Escrap.
Twisted fate. You were mine, Elena whispered. Tears carving tracks. Harlan forgave. Raised you as his. But the secret. It poisoned us. We searched not just for you, but redemption. I recoiled. Chair toppling. So I'm not even his. You are. Blood or not, family's choice. But doubt cracked her voice. Harlan knew?
Theo?
The confrontation brewed all morning, Harlan admitting the cover-up. To protect the empire, Theo sheepish. I suspected.
But.
Loyalty. Loyalty. The words soured. Evelyn's echo. By noon, I was in the Escalade. Bags packed, heading for JFK. I need space, I told them. Voice raw. To process. Theo nodded.
Pained.
We'll wait. Always. New York swallowed me. Subway rumble. Street vendors hawking pretzels. I crashed at Mia's cousin's walk-up in Brooklyn. Rent via Kensington Wire. Irony thick. Days blurred. Freelance gigs. Coffee runs. Therapy sessions unpacking the double betrayal. Evelyn's trial loomed. November docket. But I watched from afar. Statements filed remotely. The twist hit via certified mail. Evelyn's plea deal offer. From her cell. Tell them the truth. Baby. About Elena. Leverage. Enclosed. Her confession. Full.
Notarized.
She'd tailed Elena that day. Not random jealousy. But hired. By whom? Harlan's rival. A merger saboteur. Evelyn took the baby as collateral, then kept me when the payout dried. I fell in love, she scrawled. Couldn't let go. Collateral. A pawn in boardroom wars. My family deeper in the muck than I'd dreamed. I flew back for the hearing, neutral ground, courthouse steps. Evelyn in orange. Shackled. Looked small. Our eyes met. She mouthed. Sorry. Inside. The judge read charges. Her lawyer pled diminished capacity. Abuse survivor. Impulse. But I stood. Voice steady. She chose to keep the lie. For 20 years. No mercy. The gavel fell. 25 to life. No parole. As they let her out, she turned. Proud of you, Riley. Real mom or not?
Real.
The word lingered. Post-trial, the Kensingtons offered severance, trusts, therapy, open arms. I took the money, education fund, Mia's startup seed, but the arms?
Tentative.
Elena and I met weekly Central Park walks, dissecting scars. Harlan mentored from afar. Theo became the brother I'd craved, barbecues in the Hamptons. No silver spoons shoved down throats. Evelyn? She rotted. Appeals denied. Last letter. If I could rewind, I'd choose different. But I'd choose you. Hindsight's a bitch.
Me?
30 now, second time around. Byline in the Times. Apartment overlooking the Hudson. Jake? Ancient history. Love's cautious now, vetted. Slow burn. Trung Sin didn't erase the pain, it weaponized it. Betrayal's a teacher. Love hard. But eyes wide. My family's truth? Fractured. Flawed. American as apple pie and vendettas. But mine. Finally. And in quiet moments, staring at that locket, reclaimed from evidence, I wonder, if I'd pulled the trigger instead, would I be the monster?
Nah.
Justice isn't blood. It's surviving the storm you were born into.